Welcome to this week's Terrace Bay Council meeting. Terrace Bay and Schreiber have officially approved a newly updated agreement to continue sharing the operation costs of the local landfill. The North Shore Family Health Team is looking to expand their local services and staffing to help reduce the pressure on area physicians. Council has made the replacement of the community arena floor its number one priority for a new federal funding application. Now here's the agenda.
Twenty 26. I'd like to call this meeting of the Corporation of Township of Terrace Bay to order. So declaration, the Council of the Township of Terrace Bay hereby acknowledges that we are in the Robertson Superior Treaty territory, and land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. Additions, deletions, amendments. We have an addition. Conditions at Terrace Bay Beach to be added under communications as item 8B. Good. Just do the resolution. We'll do the resolution. All in favor? Oh, sorry.
Moved by.
Moved by. Okay.
Sorry.
Moved by. Sorry. Okay, good. Moved by Councillor Duno. Second by Councillor Webb. All in favor? Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Please keep coaching.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you very much. Okay, next. Disclosures of interest. Hearing none. Number 5, adoptions of minutes. So minutes from the regular council meeting held on July 13th, 2026 to be approved as presented. Moved by Councillor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Aduno. All in favor? Minutes from the special council meeting held July 15th, 2026 to be approved as presented. Moved by Councillor Duno, seconded by Councillor Webb. All in favor? Presentations, delegations, and deputations. First, we have Jason Nesbitt, August Island Chamber of Commerce Community Bigfoot signage. You are up, Mr. Nesbitt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to my friend Bigfoot. I am the best looking Bigfoot around. The Chamber of Commerce, this isn't actually the one. This one is actually going to the Ecology Center around North Bay. So we've, the Chamber for fun basically built 2 big ones and 2 little ones. Obviously with the face cut out. So there's 2 in Schreiber right now, there's 2 in Terrace Bay right now. So the 2 in Schreiber at the Golden Rail, we basically got them bolted to the deck at the Golden Rail. The 2 in Terrace Bay are right now temporarily being housed over at Home Hardware. The Chamber would like to ask the town if we can put them somewhere on town property. Our concern is that, it would be great to have them sitting down here at the lighthouse. The challenge is that we can't leave them outside all night long because there's a good chance someone's going to have one in their living room or at their camp or something like that. So I mean, thoughts are there is that someone would have to drag them into the lighthouse every night, which is a bit of a pain in the butt because I think they lock the lighthouse up at night, do they not?
Correct.
So I don't know if that's an option or not. Other option is down the beach. So there is a few spots on the boardwalk that they can be literally screwed. So right now, the 2 that are here basically have a big platform on the feet. So there's about maybe 10 inches at the front, and there's about 2.5 feet at the back that they sit on with big bracing. So technically that piece of plywood could be bolted right onto the boardwalk. So that way they're not going anywhere. They're not, I mean, if somebody really wants to steal them, they're going to bolt them or rip them off or whatever. But at least it deters it a little bit. So my ask to council is I would like to see these things put somewhere potentially on township property. The township is not expected to have any liability that if someone does steal them, say la vie, we're not coming after the town saying you need to replace them. Only liability would be, God forbid, someone does get hurt. Well, if they're on town property, I guess it is the town's problem. I don't foresee anything happening where anyone would get hurt. I mean, if, you know, the kid's dumb enough to climb on it, well, I'm not gonna go. The one at the Golden Rail, we did have a kid basically climb up to the top of his head and it actually survived and didn't break. So I was like, oh,
The kid or the big one?
well, the kid, the Bigfoot survived. Yeah, the kid, yeah. So that's our ask anyways, if we can do that. The whole purpose of the whole Bigfoot thing was more or less just something for fun. You know, someone could again take a picture with it. Our signs on the back have a QR code, so you can take a picture, then post it to the Chamber's Facebook page. And again, there's no real significance of Bigfoots other than people just think they're funny and it's just something else to go there. So.
Questions? Yeah. Comment?
I just have one there, Jay. You know, like, putting it, down on the boardwalk.
Mhm.
I was down there as early as today,
Yeah,
and there is, an alien down there,
yeah.
and somebody has tried to take that away already.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
I can't move the shit on.
but, no, I strongly suggest if that's what you're thinking,
Mhm.
the base is probably not a good idea.
Okay.
But bolting it right through the feet,
Yeah,
you know, it's probably a better idea, but my only concern is.
Yeah.
A little one, can he get caught in here?
now again, don't forget there's a little Bigfoot that's this high, right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just, because
Yeah.
it's on the Commerce, the Chamber's,
Yeah.
shoulders,
Yeah.
that this thing is going up.
Yeah, yeah,
That would be a safety concern that I would have.
yeah.
But I
I mean,
mean,
is it possible? I guess so.
it
Yeah,
is possible,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, but, other than that, I think it's a great idea if what you're trying to do is to raise the awareness of the Chamber of Commerce
Mhm.
in town. It's a great way because people are gonna say, what the heck is that?
yeah, yeah,
You know, so it got my vote.
yeah. I mean, I guess the only other thing I'd say is that it's only kind of a summer thing, obviously, like I mean, if it was gonna go down to the waterfront as an example, we're gonna like put a bolt through the feet along the, you know, the ledge along the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Well, in worst case scenario, then I'd go take it down in probably the end of September or something. I don't wanna leave it up all winter, you know what I mean? Or like I said, same thing, if they're going to the lighthouse, the same thing, at some point we take them and store them somewhere. I hear Real's got lots of room in his closet or somewhere, so.
Yeah, other comments? Yeah.
I'm-
You know.
Fantastic idea. Thanks for coming, Jason. I'm confident that Chamber can work with administration to find a better place for them.
I like
to handle it. Yeah, it's fun.
I think it's a great idea.
My goal is to have about 300 of them between Schreiber and Terrace, and then we have T-shirts, I come to Schreiber and saw Bigfoot or something.
I mean, the other, one of the other suggestions, again, it's a chamber thing, so, you know, promote the chamber, but also we have our Visit Terrace Bay, social media.
Mhm.
If we could throw a QR, I mean, just a suggestion, throw a QR code on that page as well in social, but.
Yeah, I would, to your point, I think maybe reach out to Luke and Michelle and see if you guys can find a spot you think is a good fit for it, and if everybody agrees.
Definitely.
Yeah, between the waterfront or the lighthouse.
Yeah.
I think, or even if you
Even falls, right? There's
Yeah.
another option there.
the falls too would be a good one, yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, okay. Any other comments or anything? Okay,
No,
thank you, Mr. Nesbitt.
For John or
Yeah.
you want?
Reach out to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure out stuff.
yeah,
Well, Ryan gives us a thumbs up.
yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bigfoot.
Okay, next, for delegations, we have the North Shore Family Health Team. We have Mary Lynn Dingwell. Please, do you want to grab the seat at the end, please? Thank you.
I think everyone knows me. I'm Mary Lynn Dingwell. I'm the executive director of the North Shore Family Health Team. For that, I was a social worker and I've been there over 19 years now. So, well, to just kind of give you an introduction of who we are, but I thought I'd give you an introduction of who we aren't, because everybody gets this confused with the doctor's office or the hospital. So we're not, but we partner with J. Stokes Medical Center. So they're funded for 2 positions. Currently, they have 2 positions. The August Hoffman Medical Clinic, their hospital is funded for 2.5 positions now. Currently, they have 1.5 positions. We're located within both clinics. They support us through reception and we chart in the clinic EMR. We also work with NOSH for the diabetes education program, and also we work with NOSH to fund a retired NP to review diagnostics. So when the locums come and they leave, All their paperwork stays here, so Sue McConnell does that. So we are funded for myself, a 0.5 admin assistant clerk. And then our allied healthcare professionals, we have our nurse practitioner, our RPN, our social worker, who right now is filled with an RN counselor, 0.5 care coordinator, and 0.5 dietitian. We share the dietitian with the hospital, and we're governed by a board of directors. So why is family health so important to municipalities? So in 2025-26 fiscal year, the NP and allied healthcare providers provided care to 1,279 unique patients. So that's the number of different physicians from the communities that they saw. KMR NP served 241 patients that didn't see a doctor. And the rest of the team provided service to 118 people that didn't see a physician or NP. So 557 people who they didn't need to see a physician to get treatment or service. So I know there's different meetings coming up, and we hope that you can advocate for us when you meet with representatives from the Ministry of Health. Ask that the North Shore Family Health Team be expanded to meet the needs of our communities. Ask how we compare in size to other family health teams within the district of Thunder Bay. And let them know we have the offices in the two communities. So we're the only ones that have offices in both communities. As the family health team be moved to a global budget, I'll explain this after, to allow us to respond to the needs of the community, the resources available, and potential for partnership. And ask that the structural compensation gap between family health teams and other organizations be closed. So why is it important to advocate? We ease the burden on the physicians. We offer programs locally so people don't need to travel to Thunder Bay. So our memory clinic and our spirometry are both programs that are now offered here, so people don't have to go to Thunder Bay for those services. We support the community. We offer education sessions, programs, services. We provide a leadership role coordinating other services. So we are meetings with other services. So this has changed a bit. So our expansion needs are an additional NP. There's going to be an announcement hopefully later this week. We did get funding for an additional NP. It's going to be filled by our RN, who's going to be training to become an NP. And then Sue is also going to be doing some continuing with the lab, and then she's going to do some mentoring. So that's a bonus for us. Health promoter. So currently our RPN Lindsay does this work, but she's not compensated for a health promoter. She's compensated for an RPN. We need a 0.5 care coordinator. So Lisa could be full-time with her position. She takes care of a lot of people. We need a 0.5 financial program manager, and this will help with succession planning when I start to retire. I also need IT support. So currently we have a shared support position that's funded through our Ontario Health Team. We're shared with Nippic and in addition, if we could get an RPN medical assistant at each office, which is help coordinate the physician appointments with people a little bit better. Physiotherapists, kinesiology, they tried for one many years ago when Rob Krause was the mayor, or Mr. Krause was the mayor in Schreiber, and then an additional social worker. This is a hard position to fill, so if we had two, they could support each other. So once expansion funding is announced, and there's been, I know, Nippic hasn't put out theirs, but Manitowoc and Marathon have. We're going to be the smallest family health team in the district, so we got the least amount of funding in the last proposal. So it'd be great if you could advocate for us. Again, we're the only team that works out of the two sites. And for our communities, many organizations travel to us. We don't have a lot of mental health, addiction, or community resources that are actually located in the communities. So when they're not available or not here, we often pick up the slack. Global budget. So we're funded for HR and general budget. We can't move money between the two of these without permission. And we're funded by position. So when I wanted to change our social work position to an RN counseling position, I needed to get Ontario Health's permission. So anything we do, we need to get permission, and most other organizations don't work that way. So this matters because we can't respond quickly to the needs and resources of the community. just to do partnering. If somebody has half a position, for us to add another half a position, we don't have a lot of flexibility without getting permission. And we can't use funding from our general budget to increase staff wages. Family health teams are compensated for similar positions at a rate that's lower than the hospitals, the public health and education. So Andrea, our registered dietitian, receives $7.40 more at the hospital than what she gets through our budget. And then I saw advertised at St. Joe's, it was $17 more an hour. So our services help ease the workload of the physician. It allows the physicians to focus on the most complex cases. And here are some of our programs. So we have memory clinic and cognitive assessment, BPBS outreach clinic. So they go to both the senior center and Collingwood Court. Care coordination, preventative care visits. So between if you're over 40 or 50, you should be getting a letter. We do flu clinics. We have diabetes program. We deliver the DEP program, mental health, nutritional counseling, health promotion, care coordination, smoking cessation, and spirometry. We do pre and postnatal visits, well babies and well children visits, nutritional programming for infants and children. Kim goes into the high school, Elizabeth's in the early years center, Andrea does programs in the school. We've done lots of outreach. We're also looking at adding a frailty screening, and we're starting a palliative care program. So thank you for your time and attention. I have a handout that just kind of explains us and outlines what's going on with the physicians and how we're short a physician. Just so that you know if you're anywhere and you want to advocate. We appreciate your time. And if you have any questions.
Please. Councilor St. Louis,
The
yes.
first one, I guess, is are we actively recruiting to fill that position?
So there's a recruiter at the hospital. So again, we're not. So it's the physician offices and the hospital that are actually responsible for the physician.
Okay.
And there is a physician recruiter that's been hired at the hospital, and she is recruiting, but right now most of her energy is going into recruiting locums to fill that empty position. It's hard to attract people here full time, so it's hard to attract people to. And this is where the family health team can help. If we build the family health team, it eases the workload for the physicians, so it gives them more like a better life work balance. So right now they have to do it all, right? Yeah.
Councilor Webb. Councilor Duno.
Well, I appreciate the work family health team, and full disclosure, Elizabeth mentioned she's my wife, so I obviously have keen interest in it, but appreciate you coming, Mary Lynn.
Sure. I'd just like to say, would you be able to forward your presentation to us?
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
John has it.
Well, John has it.
It's okay if I forward it?
Yeah, please, because as you mentioned, like advocating, we are going to AMO here at the end of the month. I believe delegations, we had to put a request to meet with the different ministries already. However, it doesn't mean that we can't have something prepped for the next time around. And if we know, itemize your needs and have a solid understanding of how we can advocate for those changes and those improvements, and then we can have that moving forward, so we can put that, so it's basically there ready to go. Again, I wasn't aware of a lot of these things, so thank you for coming in and taking the time to see us and to present to us. And I would definitely would love to sort of bring that together and then put that forward moving forward to the Ministry of Health or whatever ministries that could help ease, the stress on the main physicians and whatnot.
Yeah. And I can update you as if anything changes within the complement that we have. So like I said, we do now have the for our own NP, which is wonderful. So if anybody's seen Sue in the past or Kim now, all that the MP can do once they're really qualified. But even as an RN, we're just going to be able to ease a lot of that burden.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments? We're good. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
And John, my email if anybody wants to reach out.
Perfect. Sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank
you.
you. Okay, moving along, number 7, reports from administration. We have the CEO clerk, John, please, landfill agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the Terrace Bay Landfill has been in operation since 1979. Over the entire duration of its life, its operation has been governed by an agreement with the Township of Schreiber under bylaw 329, which was passed on May 28, 1979. The principles of the agreement were fairly simple and basic. Both municipalities shall utilize the landfill site, certified in the name of the Township of Terrace Bay. Terrace Bay shall be the operator of the site. Both municipalities shall be governed by rules and regulations with respect to access, dumping requirements, public usage, and other rules deemed desirable and approved from time to time by the joint committee. Total cost of operation and maintenance shall be divided equally between the two municipalities. The Township of Terrace Bay shall keep a separate account for this purpose. The term of this agreement shall be for the duration the certificate to operate is issued by the Ministry of Environment. And during the first year of this agreement, either municipality may terminate the agreement upon giving 12 months notice in writing to the other party. Somewhere in the late 1990s, obviously I'm giving a bit of background here, disputes began to arise between the two communities over operational matters, mainly related to costs. Likewise, over time, the operations of landfill have increased and become more complex with various waste diversion programs now being implemented. All of this prompting both sides at countless junctures to seek out a new, or at the very least, an amended agreement. There have been several attempts at drafting a new agreement for well over the last decade, and spanning at least 3 terms of council in my time here. The major motivation for a new agreement now being both the opportunity and need for landfill expansion. The latest and final instance of negotiations began in 2022 with that term, with current term of council, and following some mediation that occurred between the 2 townships. So under current discussion, administration and members of the landfill committee are pleased to present a negotiated and fair agreement with the Township of Schreiber for both the use and operation of the Terrace Bay landfill. Highlights of the agreement include the 1979 agreement is terminated. Terrace Bay remains the sole owner and operator of the landfill site. Operating capital, closure, post-closure, and revenues will be shared on an equal basis with the exception of the purchase of heavy mobile equipment owned by Terrace Bay. Term of the agreement is essentially for the life of the landfill, or as long as it is operating. Reserve funds for closure, post-closure costs will be established and maintained by both communities. Terrace Bay will keep Schreiber informed of landfill activities and decisions outside the normal operating decisions, mainly via the landfill committee, which will meet at a minimum of every 6 months. The committee will have 6 members, 2 from council, 1 from staff from each community. Provisions for termination are meant to be used only as a last resort when there is a fundamental breach or is within the public interest. Financial implications, not at this time. The financial relationship with respect to operating costs at the landfill has not changed in respect to this new agreement. Capital costs and closure, post-closure costs have been clarified. The operating costs of the landfill, including the Schreiber's contribution portion, were included in the 2026 municipal budget. So there's 4 options before council. The council approved entering into the waste disposal management facility agreement, which is also known as the Terrace Bay landfill, with the Township of Schreiber, and the appropriate bylaws are brought forward. Option 2 is that the council not approve entering into this agreement with the Township of Schreiber and directs administration to bring forward an amended agreement based on discussion. Option 3, that council not approve entering into the agreement with the Township of Schreiber and directs administration otherwise. Option 4, the council not approve entering into the waste disposal management facility agreement with the Township of Schreiber and continues with the current agreement. Administration is recommending option number 1.
Okay, thank you. Councillor St. Louis, comments?
18 long years, what we have will be, I think, a deal that will benefit both of us, both towns. We have some kind of path going forward now and some certainty, and yeah, I'm sure glad we finally have a deal.
Councillor Webb.
Just the life of the landfill, John, is now projected to be.
Ryan, what was the last scoring?
We'll have a better number at the end of this year.
Okay.
We've done some extensive surveying and we're gonna do another survey this October.
Okay.
That's really gonna tell us a good story.
Okay.
Don't really say a number right now. 13-ish years is our number right now. Expecting that to maybe go up even, and we might have a few more years than
Expand out.
we could have less, full disclosure, but I think we're gonna end up with a little bit more.
John, you're okay?
Yeah, that's like
Add that.
I was just saying 13 years to the last number we got.
Okay, Councillor Duno, comments, questions?
Just thanks to administration, to John, Danny, Ryan, and to the previous terms of council. One of the thanks to Councillor St. Louis for his who was complaining about this issue. And also to Mayor Malnowski for helping get this moved along, this term of council. So I think this is one of the first items of conversation 4 years ago when we were elected, and it's really good to see it.
Yeah.
So just much appreciation for the table.
Okay, so fantastic. So we have a motion here moved by Councillor Duno, seconded by Councillor St. Louis. Administration recommends option 1, that council approve and agreement waste disposal management facility agreement, also known as the Terrace Bay Landfill, with the Township of Schreiber, and that the appropriate bylaw be brought forward. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay, second. 7B, we have annual delegation update.
Yeah, just update council, we'd applied for 2 delegations, possibly 3, and we received notification that we were getting 2, one with Minister Holland from MNRF, specifically forestry, but also one with Minister Lumsden from sport, might be sport culture. I can't remember the name of the ministry now, it might just be sport. That one's been changed to the PA as Minister Lumsden has actually retired. And then we also got 2 that we didn't apply for that were offered to us. One was with the ministry responsible for libraries.
Nice.
The town of Perth had actually reached out through our librarian who passed it along to us. We communicated back to the town of Perth, and we one of our members will be attending that delegation. I believe it's Mary Malnowski. So the final one is actually meeting with the Ontario Medical Association. So they had reached out to us as well, and we of course accepted, and there'll be a number of things we bring forward on the township's behalf with respect to physician recruitment. Some of the things Mary Lynn was actually talking about.
Okay, so
So that's actually a good thing, and her information will actually contribute nicely to that delegation. So that's the 4 we got for now. You know, I don't think it's going to change between now and I think we're well past the whatever the other ministry was to apply for. I think they've already said no. So just keep council updated. Thank you.
okay, thank you. 7.2 finance, Danny.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in May of 2025, the municipality conducted a tax sale for 2 properties. One, roll number 101200, otherwise known as 14 South Camp Road. And the other being roll number 112300, otherwise known as 36 Hudson Drive. Administration advertised the 2 properties in our local paper for 4 weeks, as well as the Ontario Gazette, as required under the rules of the municipal act. Properties were also posted on the Terrace Bay website as well as ontariotaxsales.ca. While there were no bids on either property, administration continued to receive interest in South Camp Road property. So a second tax sale was conducted in November of the same year, but once again, no bids were received. So for the current discussion as for 14 South Camp Road, there's 2 options to consider. Best the property in the name of the municipality, write off all outstanding balances and attempt to sell the vested property as surplus land, or do nothing and restart the tax sale process. For 36 Hudson Drive, there's 4 options to consider. Write off the taxes on the property and choose to leave them under their current ownership and re-advertise with a lower minimum tendered amount prior to May of 2027. Vest the property in the name of the municipality, write off all outstanding balances and attempt to sell the vested property as surplus land. Re-advertise the property with the current minimum tender amount prior to May 2027, or do nothing and restart the tax sale process. Both properties are in very poor condition, as the Hudson property suffered fire damage and no longer has a roof. Meanwhile, the South Camp Road property is littered with debris and has been vandalized. South Camp Road currently has outstanding arrears of $40,977.01, while the Hudson property owes $19,268.06. Council chooses to vest in the properties, the municipal portion of the taxes would be written off and the education portion would be charged back to the school boards. Either property, if the decision were to be made to remove the structures, it is estimated the total cost would be $8,000 for each. Also, as for PS 3280, the properties would be subject to asset retirement obligations and require a designated substance survey to be conducted at further cost to the township. Finally, council should be reminded that both properties, when vested by the municipality, become tax exempt. The options were summarized above, and the recommendation is that council vest in both properties, write off all taxes, and attempt to sell each at a discounted price.
Perfect, thank you. Councillor St. Louis.
Yes, I agree 100%. I think that's the way we should go.
Councillor Webb.
100%.
Councillor Duno, questions, comments?
Just remind me what's the why is May 2027 the date?
Cause that's the time limits that are allowed. We sat on this for so long.
Okay, so what happens after that date? Just
We'd have to restart the whole process again. It'll add more money onto the tax roll or onto the rolls and everything.
that's what I thought.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, we have a resolution here. That administration recommends that council vest in both properties, write off all taxes and attempt to sell each at a discounted, moved by Councillor, Webb, and seconded by Councillor Duno. Administration recommends that council vest both properties, write off all taxes, and attempt to sell each at a discounted price. All in favor? Okay, passed. Thank you very much. Perfect. Public Works, Ryan.
Thank you. In March of this year, Ontario Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, Health and Safety and Water Street, HSWS, funding agreed to provide 73% of funding up to $11,170,887 for the rehabilitation of Hudson Drive and Birch Crest. When applying for the HSWS grant, administration received Class D estimates, which are plus minus 30% for engineering of $750,000 and construction of $11.5 million. The application process included a 25% contingency of $3 million, bringing the project's total eligible cost to $15.3 million. Therefore, at the time of application, including the 25% project contingency, municipality's estimated contribution was $4,131,000. In April, following a public procurement process, administration selected Hatch Engineering for design and construction project manager. Hatch has since completed Class C project estimates, which are plus minus 20%, which forecast total project cost to be $10,200,000. Therefore, as of July 2026, the municipality's estimated contribution is $2.76 million. Project design is considered 33% complete as of July, and a tender package is forecasted to be issued for Q4 2026. And just a note there, after writing this report, I actually have 66% drawings now. As of Friday. So current discussion, the direct delivery stream of the Build Community Strong Fund is providing $6 billion over 10 years, starting in 26-27 to support regionally significant projects, climate adaptation, and community infrastructure. The BCSF direct delivery stream is organized into 3 project substreams. Number 1 is local infrastructure projects that increase capacity, quality, or accessibility of community infrastructure and support complete communities. Project types include, but are not limited to, community buildings and spaces that are accessible to the public and provide community services such as community centers, cultural centers, and libraries. Recreation, sport, and park facilities such as marinas, pools, drain spaces, and parks. Drinking water assets, whether gray, natural, or hybrid, such as drinking water treatment facilities, pump stations, and local water pipes. Wastewater assets, gray, natural, or hybrid, such as wastewater treatment facilities, lagoon systems, pumping and lift stations, and sanitary sewer pipes. Stormwater management assets, gray, natural, or hybrid, such as permeable land covers, infiltration basins, shoreline protection assets, and conversion assets. The maximum BCSF contribution cost share that BCSF may contribute toward a project is up to 40% of total eligible expenditures for municipalities. Project funding from other levels of government is stackable up to 100%. On July 20th, 2026, Terrace Bay submitted an application to the BCSF direct delivery stream requesting $2.76 million for the Hudson Drive and Birch Crescent Rehabilitation Project. Timelines for application review are unknown. However, as the intake portal states, preference may be given to projects that are ready to start construction during the upcoming summer construction season. It is likely that Terrace Bay will receive a response from BCSF representative prior to the 2027 budget being passed. Financial implications are none at this time. Should the application be successful, administration will bring a follow-up report back to council, and costs will be offset through the grants. There are no options as this report is being shared for information purposes only.
Okay, perfect. Questions, comments? Councilor St. Louis.
Good to hear, man. Everything sounds like it's moving along.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, the project's going well and, this grant based on it and,
Yeah.
yeah, see what happens. Hopefully we get it.
Mhm.
Councilor Webb.
Yeah, no, it's just great work, great to hear, things are going all in the right direction, Ryan, like you said, you got 66% now of the drawings.
Yeah.
100% are just around the corner, I mean, like, things are, green light in here, and it's a step in the right direction, thank you for all your work and presenting, the,
Everything's lining up
Yeah.
for tendering and late fall.
Right.
Like we wanted, the engineering firm that we were working with was doing exactly what they said they were gonna do.
Good on.
just what we want.
Yeah, which is good. Just don't let you know how your
Yeah.
tenders done by the new year, right?
That's what we're hoping. We're hoping to kind of be the first ones up to say, pick us, get
Yeah.
a job kind of thing.
Good show.
That's what we're hoping.
Councilor Buno.
No, good, thanks.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. So we have a resolution here moved by Councilor St. Louis, seconded by Councilor Buno. Resolved that council accept the report on Hudson Drive, Birch Crescent Rehabilitation Grant opportunity. All in favor? Right on.
Maybe gonna miss the boundary there.
I'll get it.
No, it's great.
B, 7.3B, proposed changes to the uniform traffic bylaw 95-18. Ryan.
Thank you. At the request of council, administration has been investigating updates to the uniform traffic bylaw number 95-18. The request from the member involved safety matter and stop signs. Administration sees the opportunity to update other sections of the bylaw to reflect what has long been in practice on the streets. Changes to the bylaw include adjusting school bus loading zones, removal of loading zones, and changes from yield to stop signs. School bus loading zones have been adjusted to reflect the loading zone on Selkirk for the old post office has been removed as the post office is no longer in that location. The yield sign at Cartier and Lakeview intersection will be upgraded to a stop sign. The yield sign at Hudson and Radisson intersection will be upgraded to a stop sign. New signs will need to be purchased for the yield stop changes, including warning signage, and will cost approximately $300. Options before you. Option 1, that council accept proposed changes to the uniform traffic bylaw and appropriate amending bylaw be brought forward. Option 2, that council does not accept the proposed changes to the uniform traffic bylaw and directs administration to bring forward an amending bylaw to the next meeting with changes as discussed. And number 3, the council does not accept the proposed changes to the uniform traffic bylaw and directs administration otherwise. The recommendation is option 1, and the traffic bylaw with changes is attached as a treaty of else.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments?
Yeah, great to see. I'll be open and honest, I am the person that brought this forward. And the reason why, and not only because that there was an altercation, an accident at the corner of Cartier and Lakeview. I just think it's high time in this day and age that we have even a further look around our town and say, like, is a yield sign really fitting here, at this point in time? I mean, for me, just because we did have the accident, I mean, where that is, that's a school zone, that's a hospital zone. In my eyes, I mean, it's just gonna make our community safer. And I'm just glad that we had it brought to council today so that we could have a healthy conversation about maybe even perhaps about the number of yield signs that do exist in our town, and maybe it's time for a further look. But thank you for all your hard work again. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Buno.
Yeah, I appreciate Councilor Webb's perspective and thanks for putting your name up there and saying it was you, because I was gonna ask the question. It was me. But I'm just curious, Ryan, like, what's kind of your methodology for determining yield versus stop? And do we have a guide? Does MTO put something out?
There is a guide. And I mean, we're within spec, let's call it, so, we did go through the guide in this exercise, we did look at a couple other things, we looked at stop signs on Terrace sites at, let's call it the top of East Grove.
Yeah.
Wondering why there's a stop sign there, we kind of turned, let's leave them, more just to slow traffic down on Terrace sites, they really don't make any sense there, right? It's kind of a through with a stop sign, but we thought that slowing traffic down is probably a good idea on Terrace sites, quite about those ones. But we would be within spec to take those out, we would have with the MTO handbook. But we just kind of talked about it amongst ourselves, and then I brought it to the guys at our shop and drive the town every day, and they were right away, they're like, let's get that one behind the firewall. Cause that's a goofy spot too, right? So the Cartier one is probably the worst intersection in town in the winter. It's there's near misses there all the time, people end up on the lawn of the house on the corner there, so that was kind of a no-brainer, that one. It made sense to get people to stop. Yeah, that's where we did without all the other yield sides, but we're okay for now.
Well, that's really helpful to know. I really appreciate the yield sign on Timber Grove Road to Terrace Heights. But I also remember reading a long time ago from the MTO book, don't ask me why, but about the exact situation, stop signs on Terrace Heights there. And I think you would know probably better, but one of the things they said was not to use stop signs as a speed control measure.
Yeah.
To have other methods. So, I don't think we're redesigning the intersection anytime soon, but I think future that may be something to think about whenever that does come down the pipe down the road. But I think it's wise to leave them for now. It's smart, but no sense in changing it.
Okay, perfect, thank you. We have a resolution here moved by Councillor Duno, seconded by Councillor Webb, that administration recommends option 1, council accept the proposed changes to the uniform traffic bylaw 95-18, and that the appropriate amending bylaw be brought forward. All in favor? Thank you.
You just read the bylaw for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay. 7.4, Community Development Supervisor Luke, Building Community Strong Fund Impact, Local Impact Stream.
Thank you, Councilor Dubé. As I have a 6-page report, I mean, not full line for line for background information, that's okay with council. So the local impact stream, it is supporting shovel-ready community projects, and it's going to be administered by our regional development agency. So in our case, it's going to be FedNor. Our eligible activities are building and improving community infrastructure that is for public use benefits, such as community buildings, recreation centers, sports facilities, parks, cultural infrastructure. So ineligible activities for this grant are any type of plans or any core infrastructure. So the key criteria of this project is that you need to actually construct something new. The grant funding will support 50% of eligible costs up to $1 million. This is stackable with provincial as well as or other federal funding up to 100%. The primary criteria is going to be building or improving community infrastructure, strengthening community vitality, enhancing quality of life, the quality of our feasibility plan, our capacity to deliver on it. Interestingly to myself, their additional criteria is the project shovel ready, when in the original project description, it says that the local impact stream will support shovel ready projects. So I think that shows that they are prioritizing projects that can be done anytime. Key element of the funding of this project is that FedNor has a pool of money and projects will be taken just on an intake stream. There's no closing deadline, so they will assess and approve projects effectively until they run out of money. So as administration, we identified several projects that could potentially align with this funding stream. It's not an exhaustive list. They are identified in order of our expected highest to lowest project costs. So the first one identified is rehabilitating the community pool, estimated anywhere from $2 million to $5 million. We do not have a formal pool. So we did have Rail and I had a high level conversation with my Ontario pool designer. And they believe that rehabilitating the filtration room itself will be for $2 million. This individual has been to the Terrace Bay pool. They're currently doing the Port William pool, they've been in Marathon Math Lodge, like they're very familiar with our setup, so setups along Northern Ontario. The cost could increase to that 5 million if we determine that the decking for the pool tank needs any work. So if this project does align with the economic benefits and improving our community infrastructure and sustainability of it, project's not shovel ready. To become shovel ready, we're looking at $25,000. The construction could likely be phased over multiple years. So that could be the filtration room 1 year, the tank the next, parts of the filtration room over multiple years. There are some potential efficiencies such as insulating the tank, but no matter how well you insulate the outdoor pool, you're not going to save $2 million of operating costs. In a successful application would commit the municipality spending $1 to $4 million of its own money. So if this is council's preferred pathway, one thing that I would recommend, and this might change for later in the year, is to have a pool designer attend a council meeting virtually and kind of walk through what our pool does or doesn't do and the risks and benefits of both. We do have a building condition assessment that recommends investing 200 grand into the filtration room over the next 5 years, but all of those are like for replacements. It doesn't improve our efficiencies, move us to anything new, or get it up to where current code is. Our pool is currently grandfathered, so we are in compliance with that capacity. But we certainly don't have a high-end pool in any capacity. So the next project we identified, and one that's been on the books for a while, is replacing the arena floor. So we have a $2.8 million estimate based off the Lady Arena project in Thunder Bay, as well as actually we've announced recently, Red Lake just received $1.4 million through NHFC for their arena floor and bathroom boards, and that's funded at 50%. So we are, I think that 2.8 is pretty good costs. So we know that the arena floor is at its end of life. Frequently has leaks. It's a regular question whether or not we can make ice. Within that, floor does work. So the grant, it would align with sustainability of infrastructure. We know that it's generate economic impacts for local communities and demonstrates benefits for a small town. So the project's not shovel ready. We'd like to become shovel ready, being $18,000 commitment. The project could be viewed as deferred maintenance in that we're not necessarily getting anything new where it doesn't necessarily extend the our skating season. We have had some conversations with Berg, who are really contractors. They believe that we can move from 4-inch centers to 3.5-inch centers to make our ice potentially our season. I think we're sanding that one a little bit, but we're not getting a brand new project. That makes sense. There is a significant risk to the floor's failure, no skating in Terrace Bay. We know that every year, but it's startup. And strong point for doing this project. So we are investing in a dehumidifier for 2026 and 2027. Potential downside of doing the project is that we did secure the funding of $2 million. The municipality would be committed to spending $1.8 million for its own fund. I had passed it off top, but again, any of these projects are potentially eligible to be stacked with NMHFC, who would contribute up for 50% up to $2 million. Again, there's a risk that we don't get it, but there's potential synergies. There's the Black Path waterfront extension, estimated at $920,000 in 2025. That is Class C estimate, so we're looking at plus or minus 25% or so. That project would result in a 2-kilometer plus or minus multi-use path connecting from the existing Black Path all the way to the waterfront. It will improve community infrastructure, generate economic benefits in that we're connecting one of our tourist areas to our downtown core. And again, demonstrating their benefits. Project's not shovel ready. Shovel ready package is estimated to cost $45,000 as of February last year. We had previously submitted an application to the transportation fund. That was in February 2025. To offset 50% of the cost, we have followed up with the active transportation administrators, and they said, yeah, we're working on it. Please don't ask us anymore. Considerations, if we were to pursue this project, for our future maintenance costs, specifically, would the municipality want to pursue winter maintenance? A point that was made earlier is grade and switchbacks so the healthy field, meeting that AOD coding. I don't know the grade of that slope offhand or how many switchbacks it would be, like off the top of my head. There is a potential project could be combined with rehab of the existing black path. And then a successful application would commit the municipality to a little less than $500,000. That's own finance. It's an all wheels park. So this would be the development of a modern inclusive all wheels park. Somewhat similar to the one in Thunder Bay. That's what we should have pictured in our mind anyways. This project is another really interesting one in that $600,000 is the suggested amount from designers for a project where community would be happy, but the project could go to infinity ultimately, right? Depending on the feature style footprint that we would like to see. So this project is not shovel ready. Costs to become shovel ready are unknown. As I said, minimum recommended expenditure would be at $600,000, but costs could decrease depending on the will of this project would likely have a minimal economic impact in that it's not creating jobs. It's relatively unlikely that we have post-launch tournaments or competitions. And it would commit the municipality spending about $300,000 minimum of its own funds. So the Black Path rehabilitation. So rehabilitating the Black Path, south side of the highway. Project's not shovel ready. Development of temporary packages, $45,000. Estimated at $45,000. This project could also be deferred or considered deferred maintenance, and that although we would be increasing the Black Path to AODA standards, we're not necessarily getting a brand new product, right? We still have an accessible multi-use path in the community. So it's potentially could be combined with the expansion project to waterfront. And successful application would commit us to spending $240,000 or so of the municipality's money. The arena dehumidifier, this one could be considered potentially like the strongest fit with the grant, however, the payback is the lowest. So dehumidifier was budgeted at $450,000, and OHSC is funding 75% of it. We have a tender out for it right now, closes Friday. This project is shovel ready. We know that dehumidifier would allow us to extend our skating season. However, if we were to pursue this, the value of the project is only $56,000. So another project would be fitness room expansion and refresh. Fitness room is currently about 1,240 square feet. We could look to expand into the games room, add another 720 feet, or the activity room, another 1,160 feet, give or take. The estimated cost assumes replacement of all of your equipment, new flooring, and construction. Construction is not quoted out. We've taken some, say, liberal estimates. The commercial fitness room equipment has been quoted at about $123 per square feet. It's a bit of a harder number to gauge. That could go down a bit depending on how much, say, floor space you want, like just open activity space. Certainly the largest cost is your machines, and flooring is about $19 per square foot. The successful application would be spending an estimated $150,000 to $220,000. So that's a high level look at the report. I'm happy to discuss any project greater depth for existing projects. The primary considerations for council is that, so reiterating that the grant is open until they run out of money. So although it doesn't need to be made today, certainly would be encouraged. Because it's administered through FedNor guarantees response within 80 days. That response could be, yes, we're moving you to a second phase. It could just be no, or it could be yes. I don't think they will know yet, to be honest. There's a consideration of choosing a project as well as selecting, would council like to dedicate funds towards becoming shovel ready? Being shovel ready, you do not need to be shovel ready to submit an application. It's just considered not like an enhancement. However, if, for example, we want to be shovel ready for, just as it's the first one listed. We select a tool contractor, we write the RFP today for a contract, we're open for 3 weeks. Engineering is another month-ish. We're not applying for a bid yet. Doesn't mean that the money will be run out by any means, but it is a factor in consideration. My professional recommendation would be pursue, if council chooses a not shovel ready project, would be to submit an application not being shovel ready. Then we would write in that in the 2027 budget, we'd look to allocate those funds to do so. And if for whatever reason FedNor comes back and says, no, you screened out because you're not shovel ready, go through the process from there. We bring that report to council and say, hey, the pool is screened out and this is level because we're not shovel ready. Would council like to dedicate that, whatever it was, $20,000 to get into that stage? Okay. Done. I think that's my initial recap. For some.
Okay, thanks, Luke. How's their state of the week?
Just for sake of argument, say you chose the pool.
Yeah.
You got any idea how long it would take to become shovel?
About a month.
That would be give or take the same with every one of these, or do you think there's one that's more involved than the other, or as in getting them shovel ready?
So we spoke to, they would all be very similar. Look, Marcello's number was about a month. Is that correct? Yeah. We're in that meeting. Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we met with her, yeah, they said about a month for the shovel readiness. For the pool, to reconstruct the whole pool, we may lose part of the season. And assuming the timelines vary for the arena, you wouldn't lose the season.
Might do it all in the summer.
Yeah. It might have like the end of, have your eyes out by March, not close your arena in March. And maybe start a little bit later, but you would still have 80 to 90% experiences.
Yeah, I think, just a comment there, thank you first and foremost for your report. But we did talk about, the timeframe that, the leaning had, that, it took for them to start the project and complete the project. And how long would it be before, if in fact it went forward at our arena, how many days would we be losing revenue to the arena? But after having said all that, I mean, all these projects are not the money that has to be laid out for any of these projects. If the grants don't, well, I guess I should back up. I should say, if the grants don't come through, we're not letting them out of time. But I mean, if the grants do come through, this is big money for our town to be laying out for the pool. And on that note, I'd like to, for that, you mentioned a virtual meeting there for the reconditioning of the filter room and all that other stuff. And what would that entail? And what would that look like for us? I mean, but what I think we have to look at with respect to all the projects that we have placed before us here today is, this is huge money. This is not junk change, for lack of a better term. But, and I do, there's not a recommendation coming from me anyway for today. But there's a ton of stuff to look into. And i.e. like, what is the best bang for our buck? I mean, if we had to part it off and say, well, you know, and then we'd have the special interest groups say, well, no, I want the pool, or no, I want the arena, or, you know, or let's do the path, for instance. I mean, so there's really a lot to look at here, but, I'm just saying that there's big money involved here, so that's just my thought, that's all.
Thank you. Councilor Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit selfish as well. I mean, the pool like jumps out at me like, yeah, we gotta do this. I think we gotta work towards doing it one way or the other. When it comes to the grant, I lean a little bit into the arena project. Because to me, it's the closest, even though it may not be exactly shovel ready, to me, it's the closest. We've talked about this for years as well. I'd be really curious to get that presentation on the pool though, quickly, as you know, as you mentioned, that would be valuable for us. In addition, I think if we could have some data in regards to just, if we have it, I mean, if we don't, we don't, but the company pool memberships that we sell this year, if we have just an average attendance every day, kind of thing, that would be helpful information to making decisions on this, as well as, and then even contrast to our membership use and attendance use of the arena throughout the year. I think that just helps us understand, like, I can drive by the pool and, oh yeah, there's tons of people in there. Drive by the arena every day and see there's lots of cars, or maybe there is, maybe there isn't. So just take the anecdotal side of it out. I spent a lot of time at the pool, so everyone wants the pool, but there's people that write us letters that never use the pool and now want some opinions on the pool. So it's, you know, it's still anecdotal, it's not the data that we want. So those are my thoughts there.
Clarifying question for yourself, that's you. So my intention had been to ask the pool guy, Jamie, to come for new council, but would you guys like him to come to this council? Like, would you like me to ask him to see if he can come to the next council meeting? Which is September or something.
This is probably doesn't matter, it probably doesn't matter, but I think the pool, we like refresh on everyone's minds, will come right after we close the pool, so I think that would be helpful to.
Okay, I could do it, I'll ask.
The sooner the better.
Okay.
I mean,
I think sooner is better, but I also don't want it to be, that may just be selfish on those of us wanting to be reelected too, so whatever, I think whatever your time was best.
With my, I don't know Jamie that well, but unlimited interactions are, he likes to chat, and you'd probably the day if for whatever reason council wasn't successful, he had to come back in the fall. So I'll send out a request to relating council.
I'll just make a comment here. The arena floor replacement is a lot, obviously, but it is an economic driver within this town. There are hockey tournaments. I know I went to the curling club for their comedy show, and then we went to Drifters after, and it was full with parents from Long Lac and whatnot who were all staying overnight for the hockey tournament that weekend. So it does drive that. It is an economic driver, and it does. I'm not too sure about the pool. You bringing it up now is really the first I've really heard about this grandfathering into. I guess it's not up to code, hence it's being grandfathered in. But like, how much longer can essentially this pool run for before there's a real, you know, fear of collapse? Like looking at the rink and the amount of problems that we've had with the floor over the years and how precarious it's been, and the effect on the curling club as well. Just looking at that versus can we put the pool aside for a couple more years? Just from a priority standpoint, looking at it from an economic standpoint, and again, you know, and can we basically kick that can down the road a little bit?
So yeah, I likely may have spoke of it. So the pool is grandfathered, certainly for some aspects, but the pool is, we're certified for the Terrace Bay District Health Unit. So we're meeting all the requirements that we need to safely operate a pool. The main difference between current standards and what we have is essentially the amount of jets going into and out of the pool. and just the water turnover rate. Some pools use a couple little different chemicals and they measure the temperature a little bit better, but I'm not aware of anything where we would be closing the pools or not
Okay.
in any capacity.
Sorry, I don't want to jump.
Yeah.
I was just mechanically though, like what would be, is there ever a concern from the staff going like, hey, this better not fail, the pool's done? Like, are we there yet? I mean, like, I know every year it's like, let's see what happens, but.
There's no known immediate problem, so. In that building condition report recommends new heat exchangers, a couple new pumps. We do have. Where the slide comes in, there's water coming up on the decking. Why that is, we don't know, like, is there a small crack? Is there actually a crack over there that's leading in? The decking was replaced in, John, you mean it was 2015?
2014, 2015, somewhere in there.
In that range, without taking the liner off and looking at everything, you don't know.
The liner's got another 5 years to it likely.
Yeah. But I don't mean it as a cop out of an answer.
No,
Every year we start pool, it is a bit of a, hopefully everything works great. And we haven't had any issues lately. Is that good luck? Maybe. But we know that it's aging infrastructure. We know that the pools in Manitowoc and Marathon have closed down. And were their issues the exact same as ours? Unlikely, but pools are expensive to maintain. They can be challenging to staff at times, but they are expensive infrastructure assets as for most of the recreation assets that we have.
as proven by this list.
Yeah.
Are there any decisions that we should be making tonight then, council?
No, we're not limited. If they say no to one, you could reply for another one,
So
kind of thing.
we could theoretically apply for all. And like, there isn't a limit on applications. But it is written into their rules, but at the same time, they're administered by people who are gonna look at, one, our financial capacity. If we say we wanna do $15 million of projects, and we're gonna fund $7.5 million next year. We'll probably ask how and why, and not only the finances, but do you have the staff to manage all that capacity?
Well, I said about a staff, because the building didn't have staff.
I would outsource to somebody else, that's why. But no, there's no restriction regarding what we apply for or how many times. My relatively limited experiences working with Vetmore, they funded our strategic plan is they have staff in place to help you get the grant funding. And if you need to take any approaches to be successful, whether it happens to be shovel ready or rewriting some paragraphs, they're very helpful in that capacity. So it's the next step direction from council for a financial, like a bit of a financial recap of the pool and the arena.
The arena, what we pretty much know.
But sorry, like on our expenses revenue.
Oh, okay, no,
I don't know, yeah.
I don't think we need that, I mean, we already know the pool is not a money maker, it's just, it's the service. All the arena, well, we know what the costs are gonna be, we've beat that dog down the road for how many years now?
Yeah, part of the, I mean, part of me feels like we're already on the road towards the arena, but we just bought a Zamboni, you got the dehumidifier project, I feel like we're already, like, why would we just say no to that now? So,
Yeah,
if I had to choose, I'd put that at number one, by the priority was just because we're
Yeah.
already going down that road.
it's kind of what I'm thinking too, we're in for a penny for a pound here, right? I think everybody agrees the arena is very important. We need to find some way to come up with some of this money if we're putting the floor in. That being said, Luke, what's your gut tell you? Do you think we stand a chance on something like the arena? I know like your report said it's kind of a maintenance thing or whatever.
I think we'd find a way. My professional opinion is that the arena doesn't align with the grant requirements. The best in that, but I think we could do it. I think we have like proven success with other grants, and if that was, I think ultimately it's council's preferred project, like we're gonna do our best for every really strong application. We would have more than one meeting with Bednor. So, John, Danny, and I had an initial with Bednor, Greg Seventies, our rep, who's in town. We kind of floated these projects to him. Right, it just as a brainstorm, and he didn't dismiss any of the projects. Right, he did say that before might be bidded it for maintenance, but then he started mulling in his mind how we would make it work and the importance. Therefore, if I thought any of the projects were a waste of time with an application, I would say so. And I don't think that's the case.
So I'm hearing that we are gonna prioritize the memorial arena floor replacement as our number one priority. That's how we're gonna direct Luke on this. Yeah. Yes, Jen, no,
I thought, Luke captured it as, to apply to all and see where we go from there. I didn't think that we're sitting, in a position today to discount one rather than the other. I mean, what is, I guess, Councilor St. Louis said, what's our best bet? I mean, and Councilor Dubé said, we're all sitting around the table and we're sitting saying that maybe is the arena our best bet. I mean, for our township.
So, although we can apply to each of them, like professionally, I would recommend against it, in part that it's a lot of work and effort, and I don't think we're gonna get each of them.
So I think what we're asking, Luke, is then, as Councilor DeVay has already alluded to, is what's our best bet is, you know, like we talked about a new pool guy, and when we talked about dehumidifiers in the arena, and that would even extend our life out because of the shit show that we had last year with respect to the stalactites and stalagmites that we had in there.
Yeah.
I mean, so if what I'm hearing is what you're saying is the arena is the direction we want to travel.
I personally would, because it's an economic driver within the community. And whereas the other options are more services than economic drivers. Yeah, is that a service? For sure. However, it does bring, we do have tournaments, we do host tournaments and whatnot, so I feel like a couple of both as a service as well as an economic driver within our community, which is why for me, it would be a priority for me, and I feel that all the other options, we can quote unquote kick a can down the road a little bit, and we can revisit it in the next couple of years if they do become more of a priority.
I'm not to belabor the discussion more than we need to, but, you know, this is one grant, right? These projects aren't going anywhere.
Correct.
So, and if I remember, even the arena floor, we had to choose between dehumidifiers and the floor with NOHSC, so there's nothing to say that program's not gonna come around either, right? Like, maybe we could stack it if I read that.
Yeah.
Right.
So, regardless of the project the council chooses, let's choose a project, I guess other than the dehumidifier, because it's already allocated through it. I would look to submit phase one submission through NHFC as well. Because there's that opportunity for stackability.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, the other thought would be, like, we have the dehumidifiers on here already. Is there an opportunity to combine just the arena as a whole package? Or is it kind of one or the other?
Maybe, probably, possibly. So that would be a discussion with Greg designing.
Okay.
But
Right.
if there was, yeah, there was, I'd be happy to include it.
Okay, perfect. So council, we are decided that the arena floor replacement is gonna be priority all right in here. So,
Yeah.
Those are good discussions.
Okay, perfect. So we have a resolution here, moved by Councilor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Duno, resolve that council accepts the report from the community development manager on the potential projects for the Build Community Strong Fund, local impact streams, and directs administration to prepare the application for the arena floor replacement as outlined in the report. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, communications, we have a letter from Franco Ontario Day, September 25th, 2026.
It's just asking that we declare make the declaration, as well as recognize the flag raising that's going to occur on September 25th at 1 p.m. at the which is Franco Ontario Day at the TIC. And I believe they ask Mary Lynn, she's going to make a speech as well too.
Possible.
So I believe there is a resolution.
Yes,
declaration there.
I do have one, yes. There is a resolution moved by Councillor Duno, seconded by Councillor St. Louis, whereas by the virtue of the Franco Ontario Day Act, which was legislated on April 26, 2010, it is declared that September 25th of each year be recognized as Franco Ontario Day throughout the province of Ontario. And whereas September 25th is the anniversary of the first raising of the Franco Ontario flag, and it represents over 400 years of French presence in Ontario. And whereas there are more than 745,000 Francophones in Ontario, the largest Francophone community outside Quebec, and whereas Franco Ontario Day has become an annual occasion to celebrate the Francophone community, now therefore I, Terrace Bay, by virtue of the power vested in me as councillor in training, mayor, a deputy mayor, whatever it's called, of the township of Terrace Bay, I do here proclaim September 25th of each year as Franco Ontario Day and join the Francophone community of Terrace Bay, celebrating its exceptional contribution to Ontario's growth and prosperity. All in favor? Right on. Okay, now we have bylaws. No, one more. Oh, yeah, B. Pardon me. Yes, thank you.
Just a couple minutes here, and thank you for your indulgence. I'd like to bring up a concern that I've heard over the last number of times over the last couple of weeks. And it's the condition of our beach area. We've all had a great time on Canada Day down there with respect to all of the festivities. It was a great day. The concerns are a product of that special day, in particular the campfires on the beach. Although the weather wasn't the greatest on that day, evening we had campfires, the wind was up, the rain was on and off for that day as well. That left half-burnt pieces of wood that are still there today. Even though we haven't had any cruise ships down there, this year we've had a lot of travelers, kayakers, and just people going down there to the beach to enjoy the pavilion area and the boardwalk and enjoy what we call our crown jewel of the area, the beach. What was suggested was that we use our town's summer students in the next week or two before school starts to take time to clean up the area of the beach to get it ready for possible next year cruises, if there are any coming. It's also for the fall tourists and for any of the special occasions that are still slated for this year. Let's bring our crown jewel back to its rightful luster. Because of the eyes of many, it has become tarnished. What was suggested if possible, also that the grass be trimmed along the boardwalk, which was getting a little high, and the half burnt wood be removed from the beach area, and the basic garbage removed from the beach that was left there from the Canada Day celebrations. Just a suggestion from concerned and proud residents of Terrace Bay.
Okay, sure, perfect. Thank you for that. Comments?
This is just from your conversations, Billy, or just?
Yeah, well, we go down there every day, and we take the most days, I guess, and you know, it's just that's the conversation that seems to be you know, how come the people left the wood there? I don't have the answer for you, sir. But you know,
Biggest question previous years, we have something clear that previous years, or was it just?
So we did, I'm not sure it was done last year, but I know in previous years it was done, so.
Yeah, do we know who was done by, like the fire department students or just?
Fire department took care of it.
Yeah, the only, I think I even came to chat with you, but Road Canada Day, we've always, at least in my time here, the fire department's always been present down there with the truck and suited up to some extent. And we didn't have that this year. Number of fire, we still provided all the wood though, still had all these fires, and then had some illegal fireworks lit off in the process, and so that was more of a safety concern I think that I had in regards to that event, and knowing that, you know, that stuff's still there. We just may, I guess I would just say, we just may want to consider whether or not we provide firewood if we don't have the right people in place down there during the event and after, you know, for that purpose. So that would be my thought.
Good suggestion. I just didn't want to detract anything away from the Canada Day experience down there, because it's all great and you see all the people all around there. And you and I were both down there along with Rick, and you know, you see all the people having the fight.
And honestly, and it might just be, and if we don't have, like, I understand this is some of the situation, a lot of firefighters working in the town and everything else, so it may just be a communication piece, like, hey, at the end of the night, this is what we want you to do with your fire pits, and this is kind of the requirement, make it a community effort, absolutely, like, we can put it out to volunteer groups, like, I would get volunteers together, but I just, for the day after, right, like, just, you know, break it, I don't want to take away from it either. Just suggest, just thinking out loud, tell me to shut up every time.
No, it's fine, it's just good idea. Yeah, definitely, let the conversation go on a bit longer. Yeah, how do we move forward with this, or do we move forward with this, or how would we like to do this? Is this township, can we get summer students to go through? We'll get it. Perfect, okay, thank you.
Just the thing about the grass. Remember years ago, we used to ask Terry Ann, why can't I just go down there with a loader and buzz it all off and clean it up?
Yeah.
Turns out it's all protected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why it's not true.
So
You just want it there anyway.
if you go down there and determine it, then you might be, we'll have to be careful before we do it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that is protected.
I would recommend, again, yeah, I agree with that, just leave the grass, but yeah.
But I honestly, I'd love to clear the whole thing off and just have it as a sand beach, but we'll get our hands slapped if we do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Let's move along. 9A bylaws, I have a resolution here, moved by Councillor Aduno, seconded by Councillor Webb. We resolved that a bylaw to authorize the signing of an agreement between the township of Terrace Bay, Township of Schreiber, regarding the uses of Terrace Bay landfill be read first, second, and third time, and finally passed, signed, the mayor and clerk sealed, and number on this 10th day of August, 2026. All in favor? Moved. Says after. Yeah. Next. 9B, I have a resolution here moved by Councillor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Juno, resolved that the bylaw to amend bylaw 95-18, the uniform traffic bylaw, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered on this 10th day of August 2026. All in favor? Perfect, sign. Yes.
Just a point of clarification on the second bylaw. We passed an amending bylaw, so the bylaw that was with the report is what the amendments would look like.
Okay.
But all we really did was just pass an amending bylaw that amends 95-18, just a clerk procedural thing, so just understand that.
Yeah. Thank you.
It achieves the exact same thing you wanted, just stick away doing it.
Okay, thank you. We have reached 10 question period. If there's any questions or people online.
If anybody online has questions, now would be the time to type them into the chat. First call. Second call for questions online. And third and final call for questions online. Just as a reminder, anybody can submit questions to any member of council or myself following the meeting if you didn't get a chance to type it in, and we will get back to you. All of our emails and contact details are on the website. Otherwise, you can just call the municipal office. So I don't think there's any questions online.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. We can go along to item 11, in camera resolution moved by Councillor Juno, seconded by Councillor Webb, resolved that council move the second portion of the meeting in camera at 16:53 to discuss minutes of the previous closed session held on June 15th and June 24th. Item 2 is one matter concerning personal matters of identified individual, including municipal or local board employees, regarding tax areas. 3 is one matter concerning personal matters with identified individual, including municipal or local board employees, regarding lateral sewage repair. And number 4 is one matter concerning a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board regarding the offer to purchase municipal land. And that council now recesses for 5 minutes. All in favor? Thank you.